on the ordinance 2025 adopting the Cleves Code of Ordinances. I'd like to comment on this first. Justin, feel free to add to that. This actually began before Justin was hired as our village administrator. We had a series of ordinances that were listed for years on our website. They were not codified, if you will. They had not been tested against court cases, changes in the law, and quite frankly, for due process to happen, citizens have to know what the law is. I get it all the time. What are our rights? Tell me what our rights are. What can we do? What can't we do? Well, this right here, a 1.5 year process, okay? That's all the ordinances over the last 20 years in a notebook, but it's also going to be a situation where those ordinances will be online and available at your house, as long as you have an internet connection. It'll also be this book will be here at the municipal building. There'll be another one that is located at the water department that citizens, if they want to come in because they don't have internet access, they'll be able to go here. After every adoption of an ordinance, Penny sends those off to Am Legal. Am Legal updates it. It'll be updated immediately online. Once it's passed by council, we'll be getting copies that we can put into the book and update it regularly. That was not being done previously. Now, it may have been done partially years ago, not contesting that, but just like we learned, there's all these gaps. And so we've done the work, the legwork to put it together. And this is the second reading because these actually have to be adopted as is by our village council. And then they become effective. Even though ordinances have been passed, the body as a whole has to be adopted. We spent a little bit under $20,000 over the last 2 years. We split it up, so we only paid half in fiscal year 2024. We have completed payment for the second half. Is there something I missed here, Justin? So please feel free to.
So, I mean, the manual, the code of ordinances that the mayor just shared is a blend between our locally legislated laws and model codes that American Legal Publishing offers. So part of that process, if during the review, if there's an ordinance that we passed that addresses the same that American Legal did, they select our ordinance over their model ordinance, so long as it passes legal muster. So twofold here. One, they blend it and make a master manual, but they also do a legal and procedural review to make sure that our ordinances that we pass meet legal muster and there's no liabilities there. As long as we're a member of American Legal Publishing, annually they will go through and check these for any new case law that's come about, and they'll make amendments as necessary.
I just want to add one more thing. In the long run, it will be a money saver for the village. Rather than having, as we first started, Rob had to do all the legal research. That's done by the attorneys there at Am Legal. If we have a new ordinance that we want, they will send us model ordinances to consider, rather than him taking the time and we're building up his minutes. That'll be done for us, and then he can review those and make recommendations to our council. Any other questions that anybody has, comments they want to make about that particular process?
I do. I think for those of us that have been here a long time, you might remember an ordinance that the village, I mean, I've been guilty of this. I've insisted we had that ordinance. I remember it. I remember having the ordinance. I remember seeing it. But part of the problem is we followed Ohio Basic Code, and then we have our code of ordinances. And I think what's good about this is that it pulled out ordinances that were no longer followed state and federal law, correct? the laws can change. And then you have an ordinance on the books that maybe doesn't follow it, and then you have to get rid of it. So I had binders and binders and binders of ordinances, and it's all been compiled down to one binder. So I would love to start filling in the gaps, but I will say that this is gonna help us in the long run. Because now we're gonna know exactly what ordinances we have. I think by law, we used to have to codify once every 10 years, by law. We did it once in the 18 years I was here, and we hired a teacher to come in the summer and do it. We didn't hire an official organization. She wasn't a lawyer, so I'm sure she didn't compare them. I don't know exactly what it was involved, but we did have them codified once. This is a much better process, and I am thankful that we are doing it.
I just want to say I'm so excited about it too, because I feel like it just really puts power back in the hands of citizens, because they'll be able to look and know exactly what our ordinances say. And so if you've ever looked at the Ohio Revised Code online and how it's organized, and you can easily find out if this is going to be like that. And so, yeah, I'm excited.
This is just a side comment. It also gives us credibility. I think for the longest time, as a village, we lacked a little credibility. It was a little bit like a wild, wild west show. and people didn't take the village of Cleves very seriously, because we don't have a government in place, and you don't have the rules that govern the people and the government. Why would you take that seriously, right? I mean, why people would question the credibility of that. So it's beautiful to see these, and you can go exactly and find it, right there and see all of the topics, and you can go exactly to the page you need. It was great. Yeah. So thanks again.
Thank you very much, everybody. Anybody else have any comments they want to make? That completes the second reading